Hello everybody, and we are JoJo's Overdrive, and today we're going to be discussing the future DLC characters for All-Star Battle R, so there will likely be spoilers for all parts, so honestly you shouldn't be playing All-Star Battle R if you haven't seen the whole thing anyway, but there's your warning, and...
as of right now, we only have one character as part of the pass released, plus 2 free ones, so we kind of got most of the DLC left to go at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, Risotto's fun. I'm a fan of that choice. And having we were always expecting Made in Heaven Poochie to be a thing.
Well, yeah,
but
we knew that for a while.
Weather Report that was an unexpected surprise. He'd gotten leaked or whatever.
We were worried that he was going to be the second character in the pass.
Yeah, and
because we wanted new characters, and especially part 7 and 8, as we'll go into later.
Not even just
more representation.
Yeah, new characters, but especially because Weather Report was Eyes of Heaven, in Eyes of Heaven.
We didn't just want ported characters over from Eyes of Heaven.
Yeah. So, but we got 3 slots left, and we know they're going to be... The next one's probably going to be announced soon, relatively soon, because, the leak
probably
dates
this
or whatever
month,
was saying. Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, so what would be your, best guess? Do you think they're going to add, Stroheim or one of the other... We only have Stroheim and and Joshu left out of that.
We have a few leaks in terms of stuff in the code, and I think it mainly points to Stroheim. And I think he makes sense. I know he might not be... He could be a little controversial, but I think he's a fan favorite, and I think most people would be happy, even though he was also in Eyes of Heaven.
Part 2 representation, well, we already have a lot, but, there's not that many characters in Part 2, because the other parts are shorter. And getting Stroheim in there would fill it out nicely. We already have Lisa, right? I'm not going crazy?
Yes, we have Lisa.
Okay. Yes,
we have Caesar. We have basically everyone in Part 2.
Everyone in Part 2 except for Stroheim and Straits, but that's about it.
Yeah, and we know that so Stroheim's already a non-playable character. They have his voice in the game already. I believe as a narrator or something. Yeah. But we know that doesn't really matter because Metallica is the loading screen.
Yeah, and that he was never in the original game at all. So
yeah. So I don't think that...
I don't think content in-game
confirms
matters.
anyone.
Yeah. They have so many, narrators and things in that game. Every single... I'm a big fan of how they handle, the menus and everything. Every, section has their own, specific narrator with their lines or whatever. We got Darby Jr. in, one area, and then Emporio and others, and Ringo.
Yeah, the only ones I think really don't have a shot are the ones that are the main featured ones, which are, Wang Chen in the shop, which obviously he's not going to be a character.
If Wang Chen
Emporio.
is a character, he just carries around, Dio's head in a jar.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
throws it.
What is it? It's, in Heritage for the Future, when you use Alessi's baby ability on one of the Dios, he turns into Wang Chan holding his head in a jar. I know that. That's an Easter egg or whatever.
That's amazing.
Besides Eyes of
before we get into, because I know Part 7 and 8 are gonna probably take up the most of the time here.
Yeah.
Do you think we could get any non-JoJo characters that from other Araki stuff, or from
Cool
even
Shock
Rohan,
BT, or
Rohan,
or even Rohan stuff?
Yeah.
What's
the eco-terrorist?
I was about to say the eco-terrorist from the recent one, or the guy from the Run, or whatever.
Yes.
What's his face? The
guy that's the
guy.
embodiment of Hermes.
Yeah, exactly. That guy. I'm not sure how much you could do with that, but you could do something with
it. Could be fun.
Could be creative.
Yeah, and the Run is probably the most popular of the Rohan shorts.
It's out of the ones that we have animated so far. The Run is my favorite, but Hot Summer Martha probably just overall
is the best, easily.
The best
I think Cool Shock BT would be cool as a fun thing, but I think we saw on Twitter that we don't think that's happening.
For those uninitiated, the admin of the All-Star Battle Art Twitter account like got like messaged or whatever on Twitter like, can Cool Shock BT be added to All-Star Battle R? And the admin was like, no, he sucks. He's stupid. How dare you ask that, or something like that. It was a weird encounter.
It was very weird.
Because usually the admin's so like chill, but that was just like you just started bullying this one Twitter user. What's wrong with cool? We'd have a Cool Shock VT and then an old Shock VT, like alternate costume.
Yes, that would be amazing. I don't think we're gonna be getting any more part 5 or 6 characters. Personally, I think that's it. I mean, there was some stuff about Chocolata maybe, but I think that would be
part 5. Has insane popularity in Japan, and of course even in the West it's grown a lot because the anime was very successful. Like that's where it really started to kick up. It like kicked up around part 3 and then went way back up in 5, and now it's pretty much at the same level as it was in 5.
I mean, if we did get part 5 again, I would want it to be a duo character with Chocolata and Seko, but like besides that, like I don't think there's anyone else. Polnareff.
Part 5 in the wheelchair. He uses
in the wheelchair.
He just has Requiem wander around.
Yeah. I guess Abakio is probably the one.
I was about to say they have all of the main Bruno's gang outside of Abakio. Like everyone else is there. They
wanted to put him into Eyes of Heaven. They just couldn't figure out how to do the mechanic. To reverse moves and stuff. Replay. Yeah. But who knows?
The fact that even after getting both Prosciutto and Gyakio in the base roster for all the new characters, we still got Risotto afterwards. It's like
I know that was
I
crazy.
love La Squadra, but you guys gotta chill,
and
okay?
Pesci.
Yeah, it was the duo or whatever. So
yeah.
if they had another Part 5 character for DLC,
especially La Squadra,
I would just
be kind of over.
Yeah, it would be a bit much.
I guess we'll go to part 4 now.
Yeah, let's.
I think the last like rumored character was Okiyasu's brother.
Oh, Keicho.
Forget his name. Keicho. I personally wouldn't be that happy with that. I mean, it's cool, but like he's barely in it. So I don't know. We have a lot of the main players from it. Maybe like Tonio could be funny.
Tonio, and he'd have different like cooking abilities or whatever. I'd be very happy with that, but I'm not sure like
Mikitasa I think would be a really good one too.
Yes, that would be.
I'd be happy with those.
Let's see, part 4 has some like has some underrated like characters that could be represented definitely.
Yeah.
But part 4 does have a ton of characters already. We got Josuke Okuyasu, part 4 Jotaro, we got Koichi, Shigechi,
Rohan.
2 Kiras, Rohan, Yukiko,
Akira,
yeah, there are plenty of part 4 characters.
Yeah, I don't think we need.
Is that stopping them from adding more? No, but I
mean, we know with part 5 that's not stopping.
Yeah,
anyone.
Exactly. And then if we're working backwards, if we go to part 3,
the most represented.
Obviously.
Yeah.
We have all the main Crusaders, if I'm not crazy. Yes, we do. Yeah, Kekulin, yeah.
We do, yes.
We're good. And then, I totally forgot. Endul with Geb or whatever is also an Eyes of Heaven.
They could add him. I think most people wouldn't really want that.
Yeah,
I think
we have plenty of part 3.
But
it's
part 3. I think's pretty like perfect where it's at.
It's at a weird point where like they're clearly hesitant to put spoiler characters in, even though like they already do have plenty of spoiler characters in because of like how they pushed all the end of part 6 characters, and they're not adding any part 7, they're not adding any part 8 or whatever. It's pretty clear that they're trying to avoid that. The only part 7 was Diego, and even then it wasn't alt Diego.
It wasn't alternate Diego.
It wasn't alternate Diego. So they're still trying to like avoid like end game stuff. we, as much as we talk about, oh, there's plenty of representation here, they're very clearly steering away from part 7 and 8, which sucks, but we'll talk about that in a second.
because that's gonna be the main complaint so far with the DLC is that why are we getting risotto over part
anyone
7
else?
and 8? I guess we've gone through pretty much all of them. Phantom Blood, no one.
Phantom Blood is like,
so
you
short.
add Dyer,
We're not gonna
you
have
add
George Joestar.
Danny as a playable character? his super is that he burns himself alive
Goes
and
into the
dies
furnace.
instantly.
Yeah. Battle tendency we went over. Stronheim is obviously the only one they would add from that.
Yep. Santana, but Santana's like a base pillarman. He doesn't have any special abilities to speak of.
Yeah,
so
it would be
the
very
rest
boring.
are represented already.
Stardust Crusaders we already did.
Yeah, pretty much everyone except for like
Part 4,
some
5,
of the
6. 6, they could technically do Part 6 Jotaro, but I think that would be...
Just make an alt
Yeah,
costume
make an
for
alternate
part 4.
costume.
Like, come
Yeah.
on, man.
I
Also,
think
it
that would
sucks
be
how
getting
there
a little
isn't
ridiculous.
an alt costume for part 6, because part 6, he's
the best
tripped
design.
the hell out, man.
Yeah.
It's a shame, it's a
so-
shame.
So now we'll go to the main section, which is Steel Ball Run and JoJolian.
Yes. Who could they even possibly add? There are so many, because they only have 4 characters for Steel Ball Run and just Lone Gappy for part 8, which is
And also Gappy with literally 10 chapters.
yes,
worth of
it was back when All-Star
ridiculous.
Battle first came out, and they had like 2 bits of information about him, and they're like, how do we
Yeah.
work this into an entire moveset? But
for part 7, personally, I think Hot Pants would be one of the most fun. You'd have another horse character.
Yes.
I think Cream Starter would be really, really cool.
Cream Starter, like ability wise, is also used as like a support. So because she like uses the flesh to like heal people or whatever.
Yes.
So you could also
that'd
use
be
that for
pretty
like
cool.
if because there's assists in R. So you could have like a heal assist or something too. That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
The assist mechanic in All-Star Battle R is kind of like underused for most of them. Most of them is just like
It's because they
regular
had to put
special
it
or
in because the
something.
original didn't have it, so
yeah,
they had to kind
they
of
just
shoehorn
kind of
it
had
in.
to.
But I think it works well enough. I think Blackmore would obviously be. That's a fan
Oh my
favorite
god,
pick.
Blackmore. Just imagine like he has like his special will just let him like walk in like midair. Like there's a couple flying in fighting games is a pretty like usually it's like one character is able to do it.
Yeah.
It's like a specific thing. The only character I'm aware of in All-Star Battle R that can fly is Ultimate Cars, but you have to pull
Ultimate
off like
Car.
the full level 3.
Yeah,
But
not even Maiden Heaven Poochie can do that.
Yeah, he just Maiden Heaven Poochie just like is a bit floatier, but that's about it. He just
Yeah.
kind of zooms around. But yeah, having a character whose specific thing is like, oh, he has available movement or whatever. Do you think they'd make it so that every single stage would be raining?
Ooh,
Or
they're
do
gonna
you
pull a Steve in Smash.
Yes, exactly. Do you think they'd have it so that just like, oh, when he's there, it's raining all the time, or do you think
I feel
they'll
like
they'll
they
skin
could do
it so
that,
where like,
but
oh, there's
also
rain in the
with,
spot where he's standing?
With
whatever.
Prosciutto, they didn't make it so the characters were old, despite having the character portraits from Eyes of Heaven
Yeah.
as a thing. So they could have easily put those old character portraits and made like 10 new ones, but they didn't do that.
They chose
So
not
I
to, so
don't.
they'd probably just have like
A little rain icon.
a little
by
rain
the
cloud,
thing or something.
like how
Yeah.
like how Foo Fighters can call weather report and like has a little rain cloud there. It'd probably just be like, oh, there's a bit of rain of wherever he's.
And maybe
walking.
on like the one of the part 7 stages, he has like a special super or something.
Yeah, that would be.
Or if he's
cool.
going, yeah.
Adding more special supers to the game would
be awesome.
nice, because we have the ones against Funny Valentine, which I think is so cool. How specifically Part 7 got like 2 separate special finishers or whatever, and the only other one is Dio versus Jotaro, which is obviously like the big one.
Yeah, the main, the main.
It shows that some people out there do care about Part 7. Thank God, but apparently not enough to put that many new characters in that weren't already in Eyes of Heaven.
I feel like an underrated pick could also be Mountain Tim with the rope.
Ooh! He has the rope, he has his gun or whatever. He's able to, he goes up against a couple fights. He's there in Tomb of the Boom, and then he survives Oyo Como Va, and then he and then Blackmore. Things don't end up very well for him, but that's still a good.
Blackmore can have a special super against him.
Yeah. I think a character that could like split themselves into like segments. Yeah, like that. That would be nice. It could get a bit jank though. It could like mess things up because doing like Min Min in Smash Brothers, how she like stretches out or everything. It's a bit like awkward to use, and it's weird and disjointed. But I think if they're good, it would definitely be a very, very fun character.
Do you think Alt Diego has a chance? I know we're talking about spoilers, but it feels like Part 6 they especially cared about because the anime was airing concurrently.
Like, at the same time, yeah.
Yeah, so, and remember, All-Star Battle, the original version, it came out in America before Part 6 was ever adapted into anything, and that had Made in Heaven Poochie and all the spoilers anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Alt Diego I think would be cool.
Yeah, and Alt Diego's already in Eyes of Heaven, so it makes sense for them to port him over. But in Eyes of Heaven, I feel like it was a bit more lenient because Eyes of Heaven has way less moveset, like, intricacy. Like, every character just has, like, base attack. It's much more of a 3D anime fighting game than All-Star Battle, which is technically a 3D anime fighting game. But
I could see alternate Diego being added as a free character, kind of similar to Weather Report.
Yeah. Add as a free character when the announcement of Steel Ball Run gets confirmed in production. Yeah. Which would not make sense because that's a major spoiler for the ending, but it would make me happy. So I'm struggling to like think of how his moveset would be too different from just regular the world Dio.
I mean,
he doesn't do that much different. And in Eyes of Heaven, it was much more acceptable because the movesets were so limited.
That's why.
It would literally just be he would have Silver Bullet or whatever his horse's name.
I mean, that hasn't stopped them before having 2 Jotaros, so.
That's true. But at least Part 4 Jotaro had like the whole part to go off of, whereas Alt Diego shows up like literally 2 or 3 chapters before the ending. And that's all that's all he has to work off of, and he doesn't do anything like different. He even uses the knives in the same way, which is cool. But it doesn't really make for a unique moveset or anything. Mm-hmm. But honestly, besides Part 4 Jotaro, I don't think there's any like other like super clone characters, and even then, Part 4 Jotaro is pretty different. The fact that they've been able to do so many characters without like that much overlap is very well done, I think.
They easily could have cloned like Joseph more directly and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Or others. Yeah.
Joseph and Caesar could have easily had very similar movesets, but they are pretty different.
They did a good job, yeah, with the bubbles for Caesar.
Yeah. And even the individual Pillarmen feel different to each other with their unique abilities and everything.
You ready for Steven Steele and Lucy as
Steven
a
and
duo
Lucy,
fighter?
yes, and they sit around and watch the whole fight. That's their abilities. They're sitting
and throw
on a
like
train.
cash out.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end, Lucy's super is throwing Diego's head at the enemy, and she just chucks it at them.
We'll also get Nicholas Joestar and Jesus, of course. Jesus, I think, is the most requested.
Yeah, honestly, a Jesus Holy Corpse moveset would kind of go hard, not even gonna lie. Just like
make sure he has the Joestar birthmark.
Yes, make that canon. Come on, I want to see that. Do you think okay, Ringo, his only ability is just, rewinding time a bit, and that might be hard to translate, because otherwise he just shoots.
Yeah,
Gone.
If they can't do Moody Blues, I don't see them doing
Ringo.
And Ringo already has, is super featured in the menus
in
and
the
stuff
menus.
more than like
he
other
has
characters.
representation. He has like you can get like for your player icon online, you can get like hidden quotes from him and stuff like that. There's already there's plenty of stuff like that.
For a non mounted character, I think Sandman could be pretty cool.
Ooh, yes. Because okay, I was about to say every Part 7 character is mounted, but Funny Valentine isn't mounted.
Funny Valentine isn't.
Yeah, so that's good.
And he could have like some of the highest speed in the game if you wanted. I think that would be a really cool addition.
I think Sandman or Soundman, whatever. I'm just gonna call him Sandman because it's easier for me to remember.
Yeah.
Sandman, I think especially would work with something like that because if he were, because most of the Part 7 characters are mounted. He's like one of the only ones, and his stand like looks really cool. And if you're a mounted character, you can't use your stand really that often because the button takes up the same button, so they couldn't do that mechanic. But you could actually show off in a silent way, which would be nice. And he would act as like a summoner or whatever, because that's like really what his abilities are. And it wouldn't, even though it would like overlap a lot with Koichi's Echoes Act 2, it wouldn't do that much because Echoes Act 2 isn't really shown off that much in his moveset, honestly. It more shows, it's more Act 3 and his weights and stuff like that. Who else?
I think another like kind of this would obviously be in a larger roster than what we're getting, but we're pretty much talking about every option here.
Yeah,
I think the Boom Boom family could be cool as kind of like a Pokemon trainer swap in type thing.
That would be nice. Honestly, seeing more, getting more in depth with the Boom Boom family would be nice because we don't get to see like really get to see like the extent to which like their abilities are used because they're like just the first introductory stand fight. If you don't count Aya, which is just
probably
like
one of the
encounter.
weakest.
And they're probably I'd say the Boom Boom family like arc is the weakest section of Steel Ball Run, which is saying something because it's not that bad. It's like pretty good. It's just a bit underwhelming. And
just so you can get introduced to their abilities and stuff. And
it's like the concept of stands,
yeah.
like reintroducing it. Because Hayal was just kind of like there. He didn't really do much.
Weka Pipo.
I was about to say, there's so many rad Part 7 characters. I was about to mention Oyo Como Va. But I'll start with Weka Pipo. I made like ages ago, like a list of like, if there was to be a new JoJo fighting game and every part had like 4 or like 5 characters in it, I put like Weka Pipo as one of them because I thought it would be really nice to have an actual like another spin user in the Part 7 roster. But his like left side canceling out ability, how do you think that would be translated?
I mean, what if it was something like half your controller you couldn't input movements, or like half the buttons, like maybe you can't do light and heavy attacks, and you could only do medium attacks? Because a lot of the times, especially with the auto combos, people just mash one button over and over, and it would force players to have to use all of the different buttons.
Other combos. Yeah, that's actually good. I was gonna say something similar to the effect of like you can't use any input that pushes the stick like left or like or right, depending on the direction you're facing.
Or maybe reverses your controls.
Ooh, reversing! I like that. In a fighting game, that's pretty nasty. I'd say he could only do that. Like he'd have to have some
like
gauge.
Ultimate, his last super, or a separate gauge.
He has to like build up gauge through like getting regular hits, and if he fills it up and does like a certain like special or like one of his supers, then it reverses your controls for a short amount of time. And while it's annoying, it's like not impossible to deal with. Like you just have to, you can still input specials. You just have to input the other direction you do it in, which is not
exactly.
You already do all the time because with forwards, quarter circles, back quarter circles, do different things. You just switch those.
It would just be a good mix up, yeah.
And it wouldn't be like it would like help like distinct him from the rest of the cast because no one else has like such a unique manipulation mechanic like that really like messes with you. So I like that. That's good. I mentioned Oyokomova.
Yeah.
Pretty similar to Killer Queen, but different enough to where I think it would manage. Especially since Oyokomova can put a lot more like explosives out than Killer Queen's limited to just one.
Yeah, you can make his movesets be way more focused on the like amount of explosions.
Yeah, I think the explosions should be a lot less damaging, but you can pump out a lot of them. That would be fun.
A gag character, I think, would be really good. Like, this could be actually legitimately amazing. Would be the 11 men. Because you could have the health bar split up, and you could have like overwhelming.
That would be so okay.
Ults would be so cool.
Imagine, okay, let's say his health bar. His health bar is split up between the 11 men. Let's say over the course of, it would be two rounds. So each round has 5, except for there's like 1 left. That's like the main one or whatever. Because like the one guy lives at the end, if I remember correctly. So we could have like one guy just like always be standing there, but you can like whittle them down or whatever throughout the courses of each round or whatever. And let's say like, you can use like different like specials to like summon out different of the different guys.
Like, it would be like risk reward.
And if they get
die.
hit, they'll get killed, and then you can't use them anymore.
And maybe like every special move uses like 1 or 2 of them, depending on the
input,
the
like
light,
doing the light input would summon 1, doing the medium input would summon 2,
and obviously it would reset every stock, because we would want to see them using
exactly
the different men instead of just like 1 or 2 times. You want to use it constantly.
And then the level 2 super would be the classic, the all out shootout that happens at that part where they just start like all firing.
Be amazing.
That's good. That would be really. You were presenting it as a gag character, but honestly, just like a legitimate character would be.
I mean, a gag
really
character
nice.
In terms of like they would not get added over
other people, but I would enjoy it. It's something like, it's like tubular bells. Tubular bells just makes balloon animals to come to life. And that would be it. And that's literally, now that I'm thinking about it, that's literally just like In a Silent Way, but worse. That's basically what it is.
Pretty much the rest of them are just pretty incidental, or when
it's like, oh, Sugar Mountain, what do you do about that? It's like,
Fritz von Stroheim.
We already have Scary Monster.
Yeah.
Not for. Oh, that Fritz. I was thinking Franz Ferdinand. That's completely different.
Yeah. No,
but
that's
Stroheim is literally just Stroheim on a horse.
On a horse.
Honestly, imagine if they add Stroheim and then they add Part 7 Stroheim, and his only change is that he can get on a horse, like instead of doing whatever his mechanic. Yeah, he's like trash. Yeah, it would be funny.
I mean, they could also add Marco and have his ult being him dying.
Him die. You do quarter circle forward super, and then a text bubble shows up saying he then died of a cold, and then it's retired, and then the game ends.
He has like an ice climbers type mechanic where there's one of the executioners like behind him, and you have to, like, the axe, and then the axe hits the other player, or like Tom and Jerry.
Okay, I was about to say Tom and Jerry Multiverses, the Executioners, the Zeppeli family keeps trying to kill Marco.
Yeah, it could be Marco and
whatever
his dad.
His dad.
Gyro's dad.
Yeah, whatever his father's name is. And he tries to kill him. Oh, he swings and he misses. Oh, and it hits the enemy instead.
That would be.
Okay, I think we've covered Part 7 pretty thoroughly due to that.
Okay, now
Part
to
8.
now
We're
to
getting
Part
into
8.
the real good stuff here. Jobin is like one of my favorite characters of all time in all of JoJo, but no one knows about him because no one reads. But Jobin would be my number 1 pick. But if you had to add a character and they don't add Toru, I would be confused.
Toru has to be in there.
It's
the
either
alleged main villain of Part 8.
the main villain for losers. As for the real villain of Part 8 was a Rocky for being so lame and writing Part 8. Disclaimer: I love Part 8. It's very, very good. That's just there. That's little asterisk there. But I also hate him. I hate Hirohiko Araki for doing my man Jobin so badly like that.
His stand was so cool, man.
Yeah, man.
I think in terms of the most likely character, Joshu is at the top because he's already done in Eyes of Heaven.
Oh,
and he's throughout the whole part. So he's there. I don't like Joshu at all as a character.
I think he's an interesting character. I know he's a horrible person, but that's he's supposed to be a horrible person.
I know, but they tried to redeem him, and then they throw his arc out at the end.
It feels like he was going for something, but then he kind of just got lost in his own. It feels like he was gonna do something more with Joshu, and then he was like, "What if I instead do Wonder of You the whole time?" And then he kind of lost track of him when he was
3 years. Yeah,
for
Milagro Man would be kind of cool though with Joshu.
Yeah, having an
money
updated Joshu moveset, having a Josuke updated moveset.
Oh yeah, with Go Beyond.
With Go Beyond, Yasuho could be
I would just make it. Yeah, I would make it a duo character.
Duo between Gappy and Yasuho. Because Yasuho could have a full moveset. It's definitely possible. Weaker characters, it just wouldn't be. Especially, I've always envisioned in my mind the final super is Josuke uses Go Beyond to go through Yasuo's cell phone and hits the enemy and
Be so cool.
For as pulley as Go Beyond was, it is cool. I will give it that. It is a cool visually ability.
The design is also great.
Yes. Having the bubble come out of the birthmark or whatever was a very nice touch. And that was the first thing we saw in JoJo's Land was the bubble coming out of there. So now it all makes sense or whatever.
It all connects.
The one thing that he was
Flashback Man joins All-Star Battle R.
The interview where he was like, "Yeah, I don't really care about solving my mysteries. Do people care about that stuff?" Haha, it was so enlightening. It was okay.
It all makes sense now.
You wrote a mystery story, but you forgot about that part. Okay.
One of the supers will be the flash forward, and it'll just confuse the opponent.
Yeah. As much as I have a love-hate relationship with JoJo's, I think Part 9 will be better because he was able to kind of work through that kind of stuff. And speaking of Part 9, do you think a Part 9 protagonist is possible?
Not at this point. Now that we literally just heard today that it's not going to be in the January Ultra Jump, I don't think there's
final
a chance.
Character comes out in March, I think.
I just think unless the first chapter is an 80-page, it could be an 80-page thing, and it fully shows the abilities to the point where you could have a moveset, maybe, but I don't think that they would have got those designs early enough.
That's true.
And that would be crazy if we got a Part 9 protagonist, and we only had one characters for both Part 8 and Part 9.
A while ago, I was betting on a Part 9 protagonist ad.
Yeah,
when the DLC
I thought
was first
so.
announced. I was this
because
is
we were
for sure.
We were assuming November, December 2022, this is when Part 9 starting for sure. It would be the longest gap in between,
And now totally we are in the longest gap in between chapters. We're rambling about Part 9 too much.
There's something related to Part 9, but it's also related to Part 8. We'll talk about that a little later. Rai, I think, Rai is probably my second most wanted besides Jobin. Rai would be really cool.
I would agree with that, yeah.
His spaghetti, and
his moveset would be kind of similar to Jolene's, just because their abilities are already pretty similar. But I think there's enough difference. That one part where Rai turns his arm into a crossbow and shoots a fork at Irving Gorilla, that's always been that's stuck in my mind as that would be good in a fighting game.
I think also you could implement that mechanic that Yukiko has, where she gets revived.
Oh, and
after
Bruno
dying.
also has it.
And Bruno, yes,
yeah,
you could do that.
And he turns into a pile of
spaghetti
wire. What? He peels himself apart, but I don't think they ever say. Did they ever say what the consistency of it is? Is it flesh?
I think it's just
is it
skin.
Metal? Or
yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why. In my brain, I was always this is hard as metal. I don't know why. I always imagine it as
when it's colored, it's just his skin. It's just him
but
unraveling.
the colored has never really mattered that much.
I know,
honestly.
but I think it's supposed to just be him unraveling himself.
Because Jolene unraveling herself, hers is like a different actual like texture.
It's like string.
It's like a string.
But you see like his eye and stuff is
That's
what the
true.
main thing is.
You do see that.
Norusuke, obviously.
Having
#1 character with King Nothing.
King Nothing would just be freaking Moody Blues, but they can't even put that in. So what's that? Come on, man. What are they doing here?
Tsurugi, that's where you can implement the flash forward.
Yes.
With the body bag as the super.
Tsurugi's special is that he just straight up just starts convulsing on the ground and dying.
And then they just show the manga panels.
Yeah, his super just makes you have to read Jojolian and
I think a very an easy free character they could do,
Yeah.
but they will not do because Part 8's, they'll never add a Part 8 character,
Of course.
is Kira, and just have a reskin.
Oh yeah, just reskin first version Kira.
Same with Josephumi.
Yeah. You could just honestly, there should be more alt costumes for All Star Battle R. Just period. I'm
That are
so
other
sad.
characters.
There are other characters.
I don't think there even is that. Oh wait, no. No, yeah, that's it.
No,
there isn't any characters that have like a costume for another character.
For a separate person, there's only like the like most of the alternate costumes are like volume cover outfits. Generally,
It's like for Wonder of You in it. Like if you wanted to do a Kefu, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But, like,
yeah.
I don't know.
If I were making a Tora moveset, I would literally just have it be Head Doctor, and that would be who you control.
Yeah, and then
Toru sits in the
you can,
background
like,
or something. Yeah, or whatever.
You can upgrade to Wonder of You. Like,
yeah,
the
exactly.
regular
You
version.
transform. Yeah.
Damo, I think, would be a really
Damo
really
is
cool.
the fan favorite.
A chip
villain.
damage kind of character.
I
I mean, Vitamin C, I think, is maybe the single best arc of JoJo.
I would
Maybe.
It's up there with, it's up
in
there.
Heaven.
Yeah,
And Part 3.
It is so good.
Okay.
I'm going through in my head.
K could be cool.
Background weird character. Who? K. K. Oh yeah, K. We were talking about Keicho earlier, and so you confused me for a second.
Born This
but, yeah.
Way would be.
Born This
Born
Way-
This Way was like a really good.
In
first
early
impression. One of the first-
Jojolian, once you hit Born This Way,
Right.
you like really get to like see Jojolian's strengths. It hits like right there. And
I think it also makes it interesting because she's a Joestar.
yes. Gyakyo's moveset, even though it is like ice themed, kind of like we have a lot. There's a lot of ice characters. We got Pet Shop too, but specifically, honestly, Born This Way acts more akin to a Grateful Dead, a Grateful Dead aging effect, where it's like a passive, like kind of like you build it up, it slows down the enemy. It's more of a subtle like freeze effect more than a summons ice shards to impale you. So I think it's different enough to separate itself from the others. Would that happen? No, because Part 8's never gonna get any characters ever. But if we're going through the characters, that's what I'd want to see. Honestly, you could just make a full fighting game off of Part 8 alone, or
Easily.
you could spread that to the whole new universe, which I think would be come on, guys.
I would like that
printing money.
a
Come
lot.
on, put all the characters in. Come on.
We can get poor Tom in there.
Yes, I want
Like a
to.
White House.
The problem with later part abilities, especially Part 8, is that Araki has moved on from early style punchy punch abilities to passive win conditions, basically. Practically, there are so many Part 8 stands that are automatic tracking, like, just kind of like a passive effect that's around. Like, Doobie Wise, it automatically follows you and you can't breathe. Ozone Baby it automatically attacks you and you can't open doors. That's the same thing with Born This Way, I just realized, actually.
California King Bed erases your mind.
Erases your mind. None of these are directly, they're a physical threat to you, but they're not, like, standing right in front of you,
Punching you,
you. And even another side rant about just all of JoJo, period. Get used to those. Araki, I genuinely believe Araki, if you were to go back to his earlier parts and rewrite the stand rules, he would already from the beginning make it so that damage to the stand does not affect the user at all. I don't remember the last time that was relevant in the slightest. Once it hits part 6, almost every single stand is you can't attack the stand. You just can't do it. It's not a thing you can do. Marilyn Manson, Dragon's
Part
Dream.
8 especially, it gets ridiculous with how Rai just unfolds. It's just, hey, if we need them to survive, that's it.
Yeah.
And always there's a healer who's just instantly going to be able to heal everyone up.
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant to anymore about the damage affecting the user.
Yeah, damage that was a bygone effect of old times. Yeah, I'm trying to even like in part 7, like it doesn't attacking the stand never matters. You can't attack like Civil War.
No, even when Johnny gets shot, that's it's just him.
It's just him. It's
like,
never the stand. The going after the stand is just never a good idea. It doesn't even matter. Yeah. So, but that's a overall just like writing of how JoJo has evolved over the years, but it does affect how these characters would function in a fighting game. You would have to change it all. I'm not against like changing how like a character would function inside for the sake of a fun fighting game. Like if you had Aisho with Dubiwa, even though it's a automatic long distance tracking stand, you could have Aisho standing there having a tornado surrounding him and he attacks you with that. It's not like impossible.
Exactly.
It's not like you can change it up a little just to have fun with it instead of being, he stands away from you and you just sit there and you press the don't breathe button and that's the fight.
Are we gonna get the dog? What's the rock dog?
A Wasuke or whatever. Or
yes.
The fan translation was like Rocky or whatever or something.
We can get him and then Josuke the dog as a duo fighter. And Danny. Throw them all in there.
The dog, yeah, get
of JoJo.
Have Iggy be able to summon all the dogs of JoJo.
Yes.
Yeah. Have police, Koichi's dog, just show up and he walks around slowly. That's all he does.
That's all he does. The last character for part 8 I wanted to talk about, especially with recent news, is Joseph.
Alt Joseph, yes.
Alt Joseph with Hermit Purple. I mean, I think literally in the one chapter we saw him, there would be enough for a moveset easily, and he's going to be relevant in part 9. He's going to be in it, I think.
My prediction, I don't think he's going to be part of it. I think he's going to be a main instigator of the plot. Kind of imagine how so Jonathan puts Dio, he kills quote unquote Dio they thought. Mm-hmm. Jonathan kills Dio, that sets the events in motion of part 3. I think Joseph is going to, beginning of the story is going to be or not even the beginning, he'll probably do a flashback.
You know what's a better analogy?
What?
After part 3, Jotaro burning Dio's diary, part 6,
yes,
you go back.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Joseph in the past is going to set off some event that will lead directly towards the plot in part 9. That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm. And I still think he'll be alive, though. He'll just be old and an advisor role.
But if they were to add Alt Joseph, how different do you think his moveset would be compared to either of the regular Josephs?
I think it's mainly because you can have Hermit Purple punch.
That's true. You can have a separate stand mode because he actually has the separate stand.
Exactly. You wouldn't have him on. As far as we know.
And there's he has some fun things. You can put the clackers in there and he just throws them to the side. He tosses them away. Be a move. He doesn't even use
Lucy
it.
on his back.
Yeah, Lucy was there too.
Lucy.
Old Lucy is part of the moveset as standalone character
with the guardrail.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Radio Gaga is the name of the guardrail.
I forgot about that.
Oh, totally forgot. Wonder of U's moveset has to incorporate Obla Di, Obla Die, and freaking da-doo-doo-da-da-da-da. He has to have his he just sends out, he sends out a rock animal, and for a whole separate fight, you have to fight this rock animal, then you can go back to fighting him. That's his moveset. Where does he even store those? He just has them on him. He's oop, pocket stand. Not stand, it's a rock insect.
So we're gonna get part 8 Johnny too, right? With his son, with George?
Yes, and he has the sailor cap.
Yes. I would want that design as an alt costume.
Yes, can we please get that?
Pretty much, there's like Doctor Wu.
Yeah, that's about it. That's Doctor.
It's
the freaking
pretty,
Aphex Twins.
Aphex Twins. I mean, they're not there
he has,
for like
he has
a
a
ton
sock.
of it,
He has a
but-
soccer ball with the poison, and like he swaps the
Mhm.
hand thing, which wouldn't be too useful, but there could be a couple things with that. Like say you go up to the like he has a counter where it swaps sides with the enemy or whatever. Instead of like a grab, it's like a counter, and it like switches their position through his hand or whatever. And that's basic stuff like that. It's definitely doable.
We also, I think, speaking, because Part 8's really the only one that doesn't have good stage representation, I think we need the Higashikata House and the University Hospital.
Yeah, because it's just the walleyes, right?
Yeah.
It's okay, and have the
And every
the
part
estate,
has like 4 stages.
the TG University Hospital. What are other honestly because
Shakedown Road.
yeah, Shakedown Road, similar to Part 4. They stay just in Morio the whole time. But like Part 4 had a lot more location based. They even had those little segments where it's like, oh, here's a special location of Morio. But
It also doesn't help that Wonder of You is literally 1 million chapters long.
yes,
And that's only in the hospital.
yeah. It's really just the house though is we spend a lot of time at the Higashikata estate, so it deserves to be in there. It would probably be in like the park, like next to the parking garage where the final encounter with Toru takes place. You could even have the background be destroyed by the plane door or whatever, like the building or whatever.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be nice. Okay, so do we have any like final like characters that we really want to get out before we end this discussion?
I think the main thing we should do is just what would be the 3 characters we would want? What
That's
would be
true.
our ideal last 3 characters?
Okay.
And one stage. One stage.
3 characters in one stage. I'd go Jobin. This is harder than I thought it would be. It would be Jobin. I love Stroheim, so I'd want Stroheim, and I love Part 2. And then I'm thinking of a Part 7 character. I would go, if I had to choose any, I'd choose Blackmore. The Jobin, Blackmore, Stroheim, and then stage-wise, Part 8 needs representation, Higashikata House.
Okay, cool. I'll mix it up a little bit because I probably also would choose Jobin for Part 8, but I'll do Rai for Part 8.
Okay.
Part 7, I'll go Hot Pants.
Okay.
The stage, I would do the TG University Hospital. I just think that's the most likely and it's easy.
Makes sense.
And then the last character, probably also Stroheim. I just think he's just such an easy
he's cool.
fan favorite.
Even though he's already in Eyes of Heaven, we have movesets for him. I like
Part
him.
2,
He's cool.
you know, it's just the main thing is Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Part 6. They all have enough characters. Part 1 too. They have their reps. We really don't need more.
Part 2 needs the final rounding out of Stroheim, it feels.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I wish I could just do 3 Part 8 characters, but
yeah,
it's very unlikely. In terms of like what I actually think it'll be, I think it'll be Stroheim, Joshu, and probably like Chocolata.
Yeah.
Honestly,
if we're being honest here, earlier I would have said definitely Toru was a shoe-in, but it's not looking. I don't know. I just with Risotto kind of like shook things up. Like we were already shocked that Part 5 got so much, and then on
Risotto,
top of it, I
hard
predicted Risotto like the night before the trailer was dropped. But yeah, I'm not. My Toru is a bit shaken up. If anything, Toru would be the last character added. That's what I'll go with. All right.
I think last.
Last
yeah,
thoughts?
I think that's it.
Any last thoughts at all? I don't have anything left. We pretty much.
No,
covered.
I think we covered it, and I think we are gonna get more characters after this pass. I think we're gonna get a second pass.
You think a second pass is possible?
I think Jump Force got 2 passes. And
That's
man,
true.
Jump Force I think got like 3 actually.
They got
plus,
a ton of characters.
Yeah. So I think it's within the realm of possibility.
Final comment I'll make is that, do you think if we don't get a second wave, do you think it's possible for a full original JoJo fighting game by Arc System Works or by anybody, just period? Do you think it's possible, or do you think they're gonna wait for a bit?
They'll wait until Part 9 is out.
Okay.
For sure. I think we could get a story game. I don't think we could get like a fighting game, a traditional 2D fighter, even like a 3D fighter. I think Eyes of Heaven R is gonna happen.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's totally possible, with maybe like a post-game story as well.
For sure.
Okay, well, if that's everything, then thank you all for watching JoJo Overdrive. We'll be back in the future for whenever new chapters come out of anything JoJo related. We will be here to cover it.
Also, you better like and subscribe.
You better do. That's what they say.
I'm after you.
That's what they say. I'm gonna write to Araki and make it so Part 9 never comes out if you don't like and subscribe. I'll message you. I'm deep close friends with him. That's blame me for all the JoJolian problems. That was all me. That was all my machinations. All right, thank you, and see you next time.
Shake it like your feet, hold the drive. Coming through now. Coming through now. Coming through. Watch where you're going, hold the drive. Let the downside up to top notch. Whatever haters do, hot top.